Hello guys, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. So, cooling down quite nicely now. Got the fan going that side of me. Been out, done my slog this morning. Let me take my glasses. I don't need that because I'm not looking at any. Well, if anybody does join me, I'll look at the comments. But just a little natter and a chat. I've got 10 minutes. So I thought I'll have a cup of tea and have a chat because why the hell not? So, one of the questions I often get asked is why? Why bushcraft and survival? Why do I do it? What got me into it? What was the methodology behind it? How do I think about it? What do I think the goals, the methods, and techniques that you should learn are? Well, I'm going to put glasses back on. So really, it's quite simple for me. I'm an outdoorsman. I grew up in the outdoors. I grew up with country people around me. Um, and that's how I spent most of my life. So a lot of what I a lot of what I find people want to learn may be skills and methods that, in actual fact, as a country lad growing up in the 70s, were things that we did quite naturally. We learned them from grandparents, we learned them from our parents, we learned them from neighbours, friends, older people who've been doing these things, and they'd learned them from their parents, their grandparents, and so on. So these are methods passed down. So quite often it gets into things like it can be knots. So knots, what knots do you use? Well, I use the same knots my dad used, and those knots my dad's dad used that got passed on like that. So tying off your bean poles or towing your car. Gary, hiya mate. So that's how the knots develop. And neighbour's dog's giving it voice. Do apologise about that. Big old Labrador. He's obviously having a shout with the Jack Russell next door. What can I do? So knots and things like that, and it all evolves from those methodologies, those ideals. Now, I'm not going to go into my career path or anything because that always sounds a bit big-headed, but I ended up teaching people and sharing skills, techniques, and methods, and also learning. So every time I've ever done a course or a project for anybody, I've learned from it. Okay, and one of the great things about bushcraft and prepping and survival techniques is you do never stop learning. It's a huge world. There's many different environments, techniques, and methods that are out there. And skill sets come from many things, quite often from people that aren't outdoorsy, people that may be computer technicians and things like that. But in what they do as their hobby or something they've learned in their life, they can share it and bring it to it. So again, it's that constant adaptation. And do excuse me, tea. Getting used to tea with no sugar in it. It's a bit of a swine. Um, but I will get there. Hi Katrina, how you doing? Oh no, it's just I just decided to throw up a quick live. I'm sitting here, I've got 10, 20 minutes where I'm doing nothing. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just gonna have a natter at camera. And if people want to join me, they can do. So I picked up all these various skills, techniques, and methods, and it's simple things. It's okay. So we always talked about knives, axes, and stuff like that. So go back to my childhood and my growing up. We got things like this. So it's a bill hook. Everybody knows what a bill hook is. Everybody knows that a bill hook's used for hedge laying. Everybody knows that it's an old-fashioned, simple tool that was developed over many, many hundreds of years for coppicing and hedge laying. Okay, but there's two there. Now, they're different tools for different jobs. Okay, this one is for trimming branches, general maintenance, and things like that. So it has no back edge on it. So this is designed more for clearing undergrowth. And if you felled, say, a tree, taking the small branches and limbs off. Okay, so it's a brushing hook, really. Okay, but still comes under the title bill hook. Now, when we look at the other one, that is a hedge laying hook. Okay, so it has, in actual fact, you'd say it looking at it two edges. It doesn't. It has three edges. Okay, so you've got this edge here. Okay, which is a fast edge. That's designed for clearing stuff, nipping bits off. And if you were hedge laying, let's take a stick. Let me grab a stick. A stick. So if you're hedge laying, quite often you're going to need to clear some of the lower branches off to get in because it's quite dense. So you are going to be using this motion to clear them off. Okay. When you needed to knock this over, you could roll it over and you've got that flat edge. And the knack was to come in at 45 degrees and you threw the tool at the tree, but you didn't push through. You literally limp wristed as it struck, which means you come through 2/3 of the way. Okay. Then what you can do, because invariably it's blackthorn, hawthorn, something spiking, you could take this notch in here and use that to push it over. Okay. And again, when you're getting into the hedge, you'd use that notch to push stuff out of the way and clear it. Okay. This edge here, if this was thicker, you would use that to do the cut because you've then got more weight forward, so it's going to carry through. That's the basics of that one. So again, how did I learn that? Well, in actual fact, just 2 days ago. Okay. Now I've used bill hooks many times over the years, and they're a fantastic tool. In actual fact, it's often people say to me, "What would you do in the apocalypse?" Well, I'm grabbing my bill hook because it's got a lot of usage. But I was chatting to my son, and he's done hedge laying for years. Okay, it's something he's quite up on. And we were chatting about tools, old tools, and that. And I said, I've got a couple of bill hooks upstairs. And I brought that one down and said, I use that one for the hedge laying. And he said, well, actually, Dad, you want to use the other one. That one's really a brashing hook. More general purpose, you would say, whereas that one's a bit more specialised. So again, never stop learning. I'm 60 years old. I was learning from my son. And again, we were talking about edges. What edges do you put on them? Now, I've always put quite a hard-working edge on it. So quite a simple edge, shall we say. And as my son pointed out to me, on that one, in actual fact, what I want here is a very fine edge. It's a slicing tool. Okay, it's not like an axe. It's not designed to split the fibres apart. Okay, this is designed to be more like a felling axe, so it's cutting across the grain. It's going to get a lot more resistance. The same with this edge here. And we were talking about, so I said, well, sharpening stones and that. And he said, well, today, he said, a lot of guys will actually carry a chainsaw file for sharpening it because a couple of passes with a chainsaw file will put a very, very good edge on it. But in the old days, they would carry around stones. What I used to be, I used to call as a nipper, a scythe stone, okay, which was a round stone that slowly got thinner towards the end, and you basically work the tool with it. So again, never stop learning. Brilliant tools, brilliant equipment, brilliant knowledge. Now, I've also been asked, bushcraft survival, why? Okay, so again, it's something I grew up doing. I picked up a simple knowledge, and as I've progressed through my career, I found myself learning from guys in specialist trades, units, and things like that, and also sharing the skills I had. And when I first started out, it's Owen. When I first started out, it was a bit more difficult. Hi, Owen. Hang on, mate. Just put your speaker.
Starting my. Have you got a second?
I'm just doing a live at the moment, mate.
Oh, are you? Oh, sorry, man.
That's good. That's no worries. I've got about 7 people on my live at the moment. So as you've joined me on the side.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that way? That's the question I want to ask you. What's the name of the way?
It's called the Ridgeway.
The Ridgeway. The Ridgeway Trail.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Sorry for disturbing you.
Hey, no problems. No problems, brother. I'll catch you later. All right. No problems.
Bye-bye.
Catch you. Bye. Yeah. So again, I learned from people, and I found that I had skills I could pass on, and they were simple skills from the countryside and that. And then as I worked more and more with them, I then started going off and doing courses, training, and that to develop my skill set and improve it. Now, bushcraft for me, bushcraft is, to me, it's the pleasure. Okay, it's the enjoyment. Bushcraft's what I do once I've done my survival. And I break it down into 2 parameters. My survival is get my shelter up, get my fire going, get my water clean and ready to go, get a brew on, sort my food. It is protecting me from that environment. It is putting that safety zone around me. The bushcraft helps me do that. The learning knots, the learning of what woods to burn, the learning of how to build a camp, okay, basically helps me do that. And then once I've got that up, the bushcraft is the thing I do to keep myself ticking over. It's the fun and the pleasure that I get out of it. It's having a go, whether it might be building a bench, okay, whether it might be building a chair, maybe looking at something and saying, do you know what, I'm going to make a pot stand hanger, or I'm going to make a new fire pit. It's a way of using up time, because one of the issues that we've discovered over the years is in a survival situation, quite often you're not going to be mobile. You're going to be in one location. You may be waiting for rescue. You may be waiting for the night to pass. And time is an enemy. Okay, it starts to slow down, starts to drag out. It's TJ. Yeah, I would call me probably halfway through a 20k slog. It's a way of using up that time, so it's finding things to do. So although I quite often laugh at spoon carving, right, and I joke about it, and I don't mean it in an insulting way, I joke about it because I've met so many people running courses over the years that straight into spoon carving. Now, spoon carving, the spoon whittlers, okay, there are those people that only know how to whittle a spoon and will class that as bushcraft, which it is. They have no interest in lighting a fire. They have no interest in building a shelter. They just enjoy their carving, which is great. And it is bushcraft. It's not survival. If you take the survival technique, you need to learn a little bit of bushcraft. And that knowledge carries through. And it's down to things like, I laugh at spoon whittling. However, it's a great way of practicing those skills with your knife, with your tool, getting the finer cuts, learning to adjust the cuts and all the rest of it. It's the same thing with firelighting. We've done bow drill recently. I hate bow drill. I've always hated bow drill. It just seems to me to be a lot of effort for a little reward. Now, is it a good technique to learn? Yes, it is. It's a brilliant technique to learn. Everybody should have a go at it. If nothing more than to make you realise that you need to carry alternate fire making systems with you. When you're out, you need to constantly keep these going and looking. Tinder, birch bark, materials that can make your life in an emergency easier. And if you're in a survival situation, that's something you're going to be doing constantly. You won't walk past a piece of birch that's standing and it's nice and papery and just go, oh yeah, I'm okay, I've got some. You will constantly be building your resources and your equipment to keep going. Excuse me, keep rubbing my nose. I've got hay fever at the moment and that's itching like a swine. So you constantly keep building, loading and carrying. Okay. Now, in doing that, you're also going to be learning to focus on things and spot the stuff that you want and you use. You're also going to be looking for the threats, and something that comes back to the survival thing. I'm always saying to people, and I don't teach botany. I will not teach you on YouTube what plants to eat and all the rest of it. It's too risky. But you need to learn the poisonous ones first. If you're going to go out and do this, learn what's poisonous and toxic first. Get that into your head. I cannot eat that. I cannot eat that. I cannot eat that. Then start learning what is good for you, what you can use, what the alternatives you can go to. Okay, because it's mistakes you don't want to make. But what you find is then when you're getting out, you'll start to assess. You're looking for that bit of birch. You're looking for blackberry tips. Nice. On what you can use, and you can forage, pick up, move through the day. Makes it a lot easier, and it's a never-ending learning curve. I'm hopefully, touch wood, if all goes well next year, I will be running courses from August for people that are interested from a professional point of view and a fun point of view. one of the things that's happening and changing in my life is pensions coming in. So as my pension comes in, it's actually going to make a bit of a swine on my income. Some things are going away, some things are coming in. So I've got to look at actually creating something myself that will keep me ticking over till hopefully the day they put me in the ground. So I've got to look at that, and I thought, do I want to go back to working full time, which I can't really do because if I go back to working full time, I've got to arrange care for Kaz. What I'd earn would lose, and I've got to find that balance. At the moment, I'm Kaz's full time carer, so I go out, I run a course here, might go away, do some training there. For those days, afternoons, couple of days, it's not too much of an issue because I've got a very good family and friend system that helps me to cope with that. Okay, things like next year's challenge, which is an 8-day challenge. That's a little bit more difficult. However, again, having a very good friend network, a very good family network, I've got it covered. So, yeah. So by running my own courses, hopefully what I'll be able to do is make enough of an income to keep me ticking over and help with training. One of the things I'm having to do there is I'm having to go off and get some sort of recognised certification. Ooh, insurance companies, they want paper on paper on paper, don't they? Which is a bit of a giggle because some of the courses I've looked at to get me a qualification that is recognised, and I'm sitting there looking at the syllabus and going, done that, but I'll still have to go and jump through the hoops. So I'm going to have to go and do a 2-day introduction course. I'm then going to have to go do a 3-day advanced course. And then I've got to go and do a week-long instructor's course and learn to put syllabuses together and training plans and safety and all the rest of it that comes into it. I just wish my military qualifications would have transferred across the civilian world. However, they don't. It's just the way it goes. Anyhow, let's have a look at some of the comments. Sticks, hello, mate. Nice. Owen, hello, mate. TJ, hello. Gary, hello. Cool, blimey, there's loads of you come out of the woodwork today now. Yeah, so that's where we're going. That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm hoping to go. And I want to make what I teach people a bit more practical. Now, I've done other people's courses in the past. I've even helped 2 people set up courses and training centres. One of the things that always bugs me is this syllabus thing. Okay, and this is something I'm finding difficult with what I'm going to have to go and do. Syllabuses. Now, I've always trained people based on their ability. So when somebody comes to me for the first time and says, look, I can do this, this, and this, I'll whiz through it. And if they can obviously do it, there's no point in me spending time going over it with them. If a guy comes to me and says, yeah, I do bow drills all the time, and he shows me I can do a bow drill, what's the point in me showing him friction fire? There is no point. I might as well try and find out where his weak points are, the bits that he wants to learn from me, and concentrate my course on that. Okay, so that I help to build the skill set he actually needs, which takes a bit of adaptation. So it means you've got to have a syllabus. One of the things I found with all training, you must have a syllabus, but you've got to be able to break it down and go, yeah, you've already got that. Water purification. If he's already got water purification, he already knows how to purify water, build a fire. Why concentrate on building a fire and water? Maybe he's weak on shelters. Maybe he's weak on knots. Maybe he's weak on carving, tools, equipment. Go through it quick. Make sure he knows what he's talking about, because quite often you get people go, yeah, I know that. And then when it actually comes down to it, you watch their technique and you go, actually, mate, I'll tell you what, try it this way. And that brings them up. And again, I don't like people that go, this is the way. I don't like people that sit there, and I see it on YouTube quite a bit. People that sit there and go, there is only one way, it is my way. That's a lot of bollocks. Okay, so when you look at the world and you think of the world, and YouTube is a worldwide thing, okay, you have got how many different environments? And when I'm talking environments, I mean really coming down to the microcosm of it. What's the humidity in that place? What's the ground content? What plants grow? What's the air like? What's the wind like? What's the elevation? What's the oxygen level? You know, people talk to me about trapping all the time. Trapping. What have you got to trap in your area? Are you trapping reptiles? Are you trapping amphibians? Are you trapping mammals, birds? What have you got? What can you work with? So when we come into this bushcraft survival prepping world, it's not as easy as just saying, hey, right, so you've got to learn method 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got to learn method 1 and then take it across and go method 1, savannah, woodland, forest, desert, mountain, ocean, so on, so on, so on. You've got to, it starts to fan out. So again, it's no good just having one technique. For the individual, learn the techniques that are suitable for your environment. Okay, for somebody living in the UK, there's no point learning desert survival. You're not in a desert. There's techniques you can take from the desert. There's knowledge you can take from the desert, but desert survival, no real use to you. Arctic survival for somebody that lives in South Africa. There's methods that you could take from, but it's not practically useful to you unless you're going to go into those environments, in which case, you know, train yourself for it. So again, it's got to be adaptable. I know I've run courses for people that have gone all over the world in the past. So whether they're going to South America, they're going to Africa, they're going maybe North Africa, Morocco, somewhere like that, or they're going into Eastern Europe or Far East, out in Siberia, Mongolia, and places like that. So again, it's if I'm going to run a course for somebody that's doing something like that, I actually spend weeks beforehand practicing the techniques, gaining the information, doing the research. What's the diseases that are waterborne there? What are the insects like there? What is the wildlife there? What is usable? What's applicable? What are the plants? What are toxic? What are usable? So again, you have to constantly sort of be learning in that. And I'm lucky in the fact that I am dyslexic, dyspraxic, and probably got a bit of ADHD. So my brain just loves to learn. It learns a bit slower than other people. It loves to learn. So again, that's the way it's going to go. And this is why I want to run my courses. This is the way I want to run my training for people, is to make it applicable for that person. I want every person not to go away going, I've done the syllabus, I've ticked A, I've ticked B, I've ticked C, I've ticked D, well done, there's a certificate, bye. I want people to walk away and go, do you know what? I came with a bit of knowledge. I've gone away with a lot of knowledge. Okay, that's what's important to me. Yeah, so many different ways to learn methodologies. You know, we can all. It's like first aid. Teach somebody first aid. Yeah, the basics of first aid are always remain the same, but in how many different situations? Can you apply that? Can you put them in a recovery position if they're trapped in a car? No, you can't. But you've got to apply that knowledge of controlling the breathing, keeping the circulation, and so on. So again, you have to be able to constantly be adaptable. I'm starting to see in the bushcraft prepping survival world companies that are trying to get recognised accreditations, and this is a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope because once there becomes a recognised accreditation, there becomes a recognised syllabus, people stop adapting. They just go for the set syllabus. Okay. Now, I used to be, it's out of date now, but quite a few years, I used to be a qualified chainsaw instructor. And you did maintenance, sharpening, caring for your chainsaw, cleaning your chainsaw, looking after your chainsaw, safety to the chainsaw, and then you did basic cross-cutting, then you did basic small felling, then you did felling to 1.5 times guide bar length, you did felling to 2 times guide bar length, and then you did tree rescue, and then you did climbing. There was so many aspects, But again, it was on a set syllabus. And I used to get guys come from all over the place to be trained. And they'd go, yeah, but I can't actually use that technique in the place I'm in. And the annoying thing was the syllabus and training book when you were not allowed to teach another method. This is the way. Okay. And what it ended up doing is you ended up having to turn to people and say, well, I've got to teach you this, and this is the way. You've got to, you couldn't teach them any adaptation, common sense or method. And that's going to be one of the things that's going to come up if this all starts to be recognised as a training syllabus, because health and safety and other people will set that there is one way to light a fire and build a fire. There will be one way to purify water. Whereas at the moment, we all know thousands of ways, and they're all applicable to different situations. So, yeah, that's the way it's going to be. And hopefully, nobody's going to jump on this. Hopefully, the governments, because they will, another training course, brilliant. It's going to cost you £150 for your certification, and you can't teach it if you don't have that certificate. Brilliant. How much knowledge will we lose then? Okay. So yeah, I better have a look at some of these comments, didn't I? Woohoo! B&M, yeah, I like a B&M. Yes, sorry, Kiwi, forgot all about it. It's been a hectic couple of days. Yeah, Kiwi sticks. You two need to chat. What against Betty Cross? Okie dokie. Oh, dum. Oh, yeah. One squid changes your coffee flavour. Exactly that. Morning pockets. Yeah, so that was just a little natter whilst I was sitting there, wasting a bit of time. I waffled, basically. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. And again, yeah, so one of the things I have to say is thank you for all the support on the shorts. Blimey, appreciate that. It's actually helped me because I'm now getting into the mindset of I will do a short every morning when I've done my 3K. Next week, hopefully doing 3.25K to 3.5. So again, building it slowly and gently. And me, I'm a human being like everybody. Get up in the morning, get my coffee, gotta go do this. Yeah. Upload the short, get the support. Brilliant, because it's like I've got to go and do this. I can't just go, do you know what, I'll show off it today, or I'll cut it short. No, I've got to do it. So you're giving me a bit more incentive and drive, which really, really helps. Okay, because again, like I say, I'm a human being, and human beings quite naturally will go, do you know, do I have to today? Oh, it's a bit hot, and I'm feeling a bit tired, and it's aching a little bit from yesterday. Should I just have a day's break? Maybe I'll have. And you start convincing yourself, don't you? You start going, well, yeah. If I do a day on and a day off, it gives my body a chance to recover. Yeah, I'm not doing enough distance to do that. If I was going out and doing 10Ks in sessions, I might turn around to myself at this level and go, do a 10K, do a day's recovery. I'm only doing 3K. Right? It's not a great distance. It's 24 minutes walking, first thing in the morning, breaking the muscles in, getting things working, and then with what I do through the rest of the day, it's an incremental improvement. So again, that's what it's working. And one of the things I've realised as well, and I did a quick calculation, and I may be wrong on this, people pick me up on it if I am wrong. So I did a quick calculation this morning whilst I was walking around, because again, I try not to think about walking. I try not to think too much about what I'm doing, or as you start going, oh, my foot hurts. I try and focus on other things. So I airy fairy brain. So it's like, Okay, now let's think about this. So I'm carrying £10 in my ruck, and my ideal weight for me would probably be about 13 stone, and I'm 18 stone, so I'm carrying 4 or 5 stone over. If we go gentle on ourselves, say 4 stone over, so that's 4 stone over, £14 to a stone, if I remember correctly. That's 28. That is 28, 38 with the £10 on that. Another 28 on that. My maths is absolutely pants, but I'm carrying somewhere around 60, £70. If I'd stuck a £70 in my Bergen when I was young and fit, I'd have bloody noticed it. Blimey, and start thinking like that. Oh, blimey, I'm actually chuffed, I'm carrying £70. So I'm doing a 3K carrying £70 in excess weight, which hopefully I'm going to shed. Yeah. So the diet I'm on at the moment, and I've had a look at lots of things. There's no fantasy to the diet. Reduce my carb intake, up my fruits, vegetables, get the vitamins and the minerals. Most days it's simple stuff, fish. Okay, salad, some tuna, salad, some mackerel, things like that. It's good proteins. Once a week now I have my treat, my meat day. So tomorrow is meat day, steak day tomorrow. Nice ribeye with a bit of salad. I have my carb days. So Sunday's a carb day. Sunday is a roast potatoes, or like this week, shepherd's pie, bit of mash on it. Gives me something to look forward to and focus for. But I'm trying to shed weight. So I'm trying not to put too many carbs in, and I'm not going meat-based diet. I've tried that in the past. Carnivore diet works for some. For me, I start to get aches. Joints start to play me out. So it's not really what I do. And I've got to try and get the cholesterol down. I've got to try and sort the arteries out. So it's all finding that balance. I was shocked on a couple of bits when I actually did my research and started finding some of the things I've eaten for years thinking that they were doing me good ain't doing me any good at all. So I've had to cut those out as well. And I'm not punishing myself with it. I'm not being vicious with myself. Same thing with the exercise build up. I'm not trying to. I don't want to get to the end of the day sitting there going, I can't move. I can't move. Okay, that was good training when I was a nipper and when I had a fast recovery time. These days, 60 years, recovery time is a bit slower. The other thing is I've got to remember the joints, the damage, the problems I've already had. I've got to be careful not to exacerbate them. So, if we start at the feet, so 2 broken toes, broken ankle, okay, recovered for a nose, done, not a problem at all. Detached left calf muscle. So my left calf muscle, as you see it developing, you'll notice that the left calf muscle is a weird shape. That's because I managed to detach that donkeys years ago. Never healed fully, never corrected, never came back to the proper shape it should be. Got myself back to the point where I could walk on it, where I could use it, but my left leg's always a little bit weak there. Knees, that's just impact from a lifetime of charging around like an absolute loony and lugging weights. Okay, so I've got to watch them. Hips, right hip gives me a bit of grief, bit of jip. Again, wear and tear. Back, lower back, not so bad. Okay, couple of torn muscles over the years, couple of pulls and strains coming up. My shoulders, okie doke. So damaged my shoulder joints over the years, dislocated shoulders, all the usual stuff that you get through a roughy tufty life. Never broken a collarbone, luckily. Down to my elbows, same problems with my elbows, and arthritic hands and wrists, lots of blacksmithing and that sort of thing. Coming up further still, C7, C8, managed to smash those up in my 20s, led to a lot of neck injury, a lot of leg problems. So again, that also creates a bit of a nerve problem occasionally down my back. Sciatica, lower back, get a bit of that, but again, that's manageable. So again, I've got to think about it, be practical about it. I'm an old fart. If I try being silly, try pushing it too hard, I'm just going to knacker myself. Body management. Luckily enough, I've got a good couple of guys on the team for the build-up and for the actual event. In fact, three good guys on there. Me and Mac are exactly the same age. We got Sticks, young, fit, eager, driving energy. I got Owen, very experienced. So again, between all of us, it's a practical approach to how we're going to do it, and it's quite fun and interesting to see how we're progressing with it, even though it's only a week in. Benny's having a brew at work. Benny, I hope you're having a good day, mate. How's it hanging? Lawrence, I hope you're having a great day, Sticks. TJ, it's not a problem. Not a problem. Look, when we do this event in May, one of the things that we are going to need, right? And I think Owen, Chris, Mac, we're all agreeing with one of the best things anybody can do for us is just a bit of support, whether it be on YouTube, okay? Just that, we'll all be posting things all the way through it. We're hoping to make a nice video out of it. We'll all be posting through it. There may just be shorts, things like that, but the comments, the support. That's a big thing in anything you do in this life. Support. Just people saying, "Well done, mate. Congratulations. Good effort." That sort of thing is a great driving force. That picks you up. So don't worry about coming out and having the distance with us. You don't have to. Just do what you're doing, TJ. Your support on a regular basis. It helps my channel. It helps me keep motivated. The comments in the morning when I've come back done that. The first short I did, who's going to want to see me sweating after I've done 3K? Who's going to want to see that? But never mind, I'll put it up anyhow because it's all interesting. Blimey, the amount of people that come back, even people that I'd never seen on the channel before, came back, with a comment, a thumbs up, a like. Brilliant. Because that's like, do you know what? I've got to do it for all these guys now. Yeah. Gary, that was one of the things for me. That was one of the slap in the face for me. I've always been confident that my body was pretty good. I've always been fairly confident that my heart was okay, that my body was generally good. Yeah. Pretty much like yourself. I had to go through the MOT system, I had to get some scans. They start going, oh, got a problem with this, got a problem with that. Oh, we need to do some more checks. And suddenly you're sitting there going, whoa, this all crept up a bit quick. Yeah, it's one of those things. And again, small life changes can make a big difference. Can't cure everything, but small differences can go a long way. And it also helps to motivate you to, I need to do this, I had a very good friend recently, used to smoke like a trooper. And he was one of these guys who was always fit, very, very fit. He used to smoke like a good and he enjoyed it. And then he had a problem with his throat. And literally within days, he went, do you know what? Index. That scare was enough. And he's never smoked since. That was enough. That scare was enough for him to just go, no, Index. And now I talk to him. And he was a guy who used to say to me, I don't worry about it because, I'm fit, I'm capable. The tabs aren't bothering me. So, I carry on smoking. I enjoy the smoking. I enjoy the nicotine and all the rest of it. But that one scare just stopped him. And I talked to him now and he goes, do you know what best thing that ever happened? He said, I feel so much better for it. Breathing's better and all the rest of it. So again, sometimes you just need that little push. Mate, TJ, yeah. That was one of the problems. Some of the injections that people were given over the years for various conditions or scenarios, they weren't particularly well thought out. And I'm not going to, again, I agree with you, I'm not going to get political about it, but I think some of those were also bloody experiments. It was like, hang on, got a few thousand guys we can jab up with this and actually see what the results are. Yeah, what can you do? What can you do? The only thing you can do is deal with the problems. Now, a lot of my problems just come back from an active life, you know. I remember carrying the old oak bitumen soaked railway sleepers. I remember building a wall out of those as a retaining wall for sand. So the uprights were railway sleepers sunk into the ground. So you had 2/3 in the ground, and then we had the sleepers stacked. I think it was about 5 or 6 high, and then one flat on the top to hold the sandbank back. And no machinery, no equipment. So we were literally cutting those sleepers with bow saws, and we were going through blades like you wouldn't believe, and digging the holes. Fair enough, it was in quite hard packed sand, so it wasn't too bad digging the holes. But you're digging a hole sort of 6 foot deep with a shovel, and then running off, picking up on these railway sleepers, throwing it up on my shoulder, running down, slotting it in the hole, and then stacking them up. And I spent weeks building this bloody wall. It was massive, but it didn't bother me at the time. Now, yeah, I sit there and I think, yeah, that didn't do me any good. Now, do excuse me, guys, check my shelves for 30 seconds. I'm going to have a wee. That was that litre of water I'd after I come back from my 3K. Oh. Right, anyhow, so we're going to call it quits there. That was literally just a quick chat. 41 minutes, blimey. Anyhow, I've got things to do. I'm going to go shopping and all the rest of it. Have a wonderful day wherever you are. Enjoy yourself. Best wishes to you all. Look after one another. Look after yourselves. Look after your physicality. And if you're a young dude out there, take care of yourself. Okay? We'll come back to haunt you when you're older. If you're an old dude like me, don't let it get you down. Find a way. Okay? Find a way. There is a way. You got to just adapt to what your body will allow you to do. And don't let it beat you. Katrina, have a great day. Kaz, love you. Gary Lund, yeah, cheers, bro. Yeah. TJ, yeah, happy days, mate. Look after yourself. Lawrence, have a great day. Don't work too hard, my friend, and hopefully it's a bit cooler today. You'll find it a little bit easier. Chris, you have an awesome day, mate. You should be getting your head down because I know you had a long night last night. Owen, brother, yeah, have a good one. Take it easy. I might give you a shout in a second, actually, Owen, just catch up with you quick, see what you found, what you need to find. Yeah, this is Mickey, just waffling. Have an awesome one. Mickey out.